All right, so typically I start with the main plot for these episodes, and then we go through the secondary plot after. But I got to start with the secondary plot here first, because I am very excited for that. So we got the. I see. The thing is I don't know if this Evil Blue Ranger and Don Red are connected in any way because they both. I guess they both get sick in a way, kind of, but more so this evil Blue Ranger is more so kind of frozen in position. And we see him, his comrades, they're in their little pocket dimension or whatever, and they're, trying to figure out, hey, like, what do we do? We don't know what to do here. And so they're just kind of watching over him. And we get this little look into, I guess, his mind, and he's I thought it was his morphed up form, but it was just kind of like this thing, just kind of like flying around the forest, cutting up trees and whatnot. You don't see an actual like form. It's just kind of like like this thing just kind of flying around through the forest, and then we get this really weird shot of this like goop, which kind of drips down a tree. And nothing's really explained at that moment. And then later on in the episode, we get this whole bus. And we kind of focus on this cop and then the guy. I don't know if they're friends, but the guy sitting next to him, they're talking like, hey, like, let's go get drunk after we go to the hot springs and whatnot. And they're like, yeah, it sounds fun. And they turn this corner and it cuts off. And I didn't fully understand in that moment what that meant. I didn't understand why we're seeing this bus of random people not being attacked by anything. Doesn't really have anything to do with the plot. We find out at the very end of the episode that this bus goes through a tunnel. They make it pitch black. Bus comes out the other side. Every single person is gone. Bus hits. They're driving through the mountains, so it hits the side of a mountain. Turns on its side. And then you see the goop again. And the evil Blue Ranger kind of snaps out of his trance. Again, I don't know if it's like a sickness thing. I don't know if he was kind of seeing these things. But basically, he snaps out of it. And they call it... I'll put it up on the screen, but I think it's like the Beastals or something like that is what he says. And he says that they're coming. So it looks like... And I said this last episode. I said, I want more of, these team-ups. Like Don Red and the evil Blue Ranger. I want, more of the conversations... again, it's not fully explained if they know, if the two factions know who they are. But now we have a fourth faction coming in. So obviously, we have the monsters that take over the humans. We have the evil rangers. We have our main heroes. And then now we're going to have these bestial, I believe is what the term was, things coming in too. So... I think it would be interesting if we have you have all 8 Rangers kind of come together, and then the monsters and whatever these bestials things are, which are going to be, essentially monsters too, have those guys team up, have the evil and good Rangers team up, and then you just kind of have these, feeling out period where everyone's just kind of all for, the two sides on each side are trying to figure each other out and trying to, come to terms with each other. And then I have a feeling if they do something like that, then obviously one of the evil sides will betray the other evil side. And maybe the Bestials are what ends the series, and that's what the final boss is. But I'm intrigued by this. Again, it's very little that we got for this. And next week doesn't really set anything up because next week we're going to focus back on the manga side of Don Yellow, and she's going to, come to terms with, hey, like, should I help these people? They think I plagiarized and whatnot. So that, we kind of go a whole different way. Now, obviously, the heroes, the Don heroes, don't know anything that's going on. But I hope we don't just have, 4 or 5 episodes and you just get little teases here and there. I want this to really build up. And, if you have them be the main monsters, make them come in, episode 15 or something like that. So just don't slowly build this up and then we're 30 episodes in and they finally do it. Like, I hope this is kind of quick that they introduce this new faction is what I'm going to say. So that's the side plot. The main plot here is Don Red, Momotaro, comes in and he's sick. And they find out from the dad, again, they get Blue and Yellow go to the pocket dimension where the jail is. Find out from the dad that every couple years, he gets this sickness thing that literally knocks him out, and he needs to eat 300 of these. I could not pronounce it right if I tried, but they're like little dough things, kind of. And so they feed him 300, and I thought right off the bat, I'm like, we're not even halfway through, and they're just gonna heal him up already, not making a plot point or anything. What was the point of that? But then we find out that they didn't make him right. And they're supposed to, roll them with the roller and, pound them and whatnot, and then break them up and put them into 300 little balls of dough, essentially. So they basically didn't make them right, and because they didn't make them right, it didn't heal Don Red. I skipped over the part where Kaito is just in the back. He just has all the ingredients, just makes it up. He says, "Okay, here you go. Go ahead and just start, making them into 300 little dough balls." Like. Hey, thanks. We're just gonna progress the plot really fast here. But yeah, so then again, they mess it up. They give it to him. They find that out, and then while they find it out, because they thought they got it, and then they have to go fight this. It's essentially a spirit of an old man who is basically on his deathbed. And we find out that it's really hard to hit this. It's a kid. That transforms into a monster. It's really hard to hit him because you can't unless you play the game, because it's not a real person. It's basically the soul of this old man. And so the only way to kill the monster and defeat it is to play the game. So throughout the whole, the first half and then the end, they play red light, green light, and then they throw a tag in the middle. And then for some reason, the kid gets bored of tag, and he's like, yeah, okay, now let's go back and play red light, green light again. Like, you were just not killing all these people, but you just tagged all these people. You essentially had the Don Rangers on the ropes, and you're just like, okay, it's 2 left. Okay, let's just play red light, green light again. Like, really? Really? I don't know why, but he decided that. I guess you could say it's a kid, so there you go. There's your excuse. So, again, they're feeding it to him. Your Yellow is the last one left. Feeds all the 300 dough balls again to Don Red. They realize, hey, they're at 299. This isn't enough. And so Kaito, who was there, I kind of skipped over Kaito, but he stepped in to fight. I thought he was actually gonna fight, and he just shows up and realizes, hey, I can't hit this guy. And so he starts to leave. He's like, oh yeah, we're only at 299. So I'm gonna go back and get the 300th one. But then we didn't need it because Don Red's like, oh yeah, because you're helping me, Don Yellow, so much that I have my strength back. I don't know why 299 plus Don Yellow helping her or helping him makes him fully healthy again. He's no longer sick. I don't I don't get it. But they show off the new robot form. Don Red shows off the new robot form, and then beats up he basically wins the game of red light, green light, and then we see the soul. Or the kid says basically, thank you for playing and whatnot, and you see him, the soul kind of goes flying away. We find out that the soul goes back to the old man on his deathbed, and I thought they were gonna pull, adult type show, and they're just gonna have this man die. That's what I thought. I thought, okay, he's just gonna go back to the soul's gonna go back to the body, and I thought, okay, we're going to see this man just die on his deathbed. They did not do that, thankfully, because, again, it is still a kid's show. But I had that thought in the back of my mind that they were just going to kill off this old man. But they just had him smile. And the nurse is in there like, oh, now he's smiling, looks happy, he must be having a good dream. And it just kind of... the episode just kind of ends there. And then, again, we get the preview with the... manga stuff coming next week for Don Yellow, so we're going to focus on her again. But, overall, it wasn't terrible. I was excited to see Kaito fight, and I mean, it sucks because I'm waiting for actually to get like a real fight, but I don't know. At the same time, the only real way we can get a real fight out of Kaito is if Don Red is out of commission and sick again, or he gets, absorbed by the monsters. We don't even know where the people that got tagged went. They just kind of disappeared. So if maybe he had gotten tagged or whatever, but Kaito just doesn't want to fight. I guess he stepped in for 2 seconds, didn't really do anything, and just I was excited for Kaito to fight, and it just did not go well at all. I didn't enjoy it. It didn't even really need to be there, honestly. Like, he could have just kind of pulled out his gun and just showed, like, hey, like, I'm firing my gun, kind of, buying time. And then he looks at the counter on the phone and realizes, hey, we're at $2.99, goes and runs away. They didn't need to make him transform for 2 seconds because he really didn't do anything. Yes, he dodged the tag attacks, but he didn't really do anything else. They could have just had the gun just destroy. They were like spider legs. They could have just had the guns just kind of destroy those spider leg things so it doesn't get tagged. And then again, he runs off and gets the 300th throw ball thing. The robot form for Donrad, the new one. It's powerful. But I'm honestly just ready for Donrad to kind of take a step back so we can get the other 4 characters strong as he is. Because, I mean, the way there was kind of a line that's just mentioned, like, hey, like, he's just, like, the strongest, like, character right now. And it's just like, well, why do the other 4 need to be there then? I mean, yes, again, he's sick, so it makes sense why they're there, like, this time for this fight. But they didn't need to be there for, like, any of the past fights at all, technically. It just really didn't make sense. Yes, the one guy went to died last episode if Don Pink wasn't there. But, it feels like there's not a lot that really changed. So I'm hoping that they really kind of build up the rest of the cast here, make them as strong. It looks like Yellow next week is going to get kind of a robot power-up form. There's a, like, literally half a second of a shot. And I'm going to have to go back and watch it in, like, slow-mo to see if it was a new form and if it's just kind of the way the camera angle was with her suit. So if she gets a new form, hopefully the rest of them get a new form too, and they can all kind of catch up to Don Red. But yeah, just, this was an okay episode. Not a ton happened. It's just, it was okay. But I'm that secondary plot here really excited me. So I'm ready to see what happens down the road with the, again, I believe it's bestials, I believe is what the term is. Again, I'll have a picture up early on in the episode, or early on in the review here. But yeah, for now, like the video, share the video around, don't forget to subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace.